Two teams without a point or even a goal go head-to-head on Merseyside this morning as they both aim to kickstart their season with a win in what, even at this early stage of the campaign, has the appearance of a must-win encounter if pre-season ambitions are to be achieved. Welcome along to Walton Hall Park as Everton face Birmingham in the Women's Super League. Just the one game today will be underway in the next 10 minutes or so. 5 games tomorrow and some big ones as well. Manchester United 100% record so far take on Chelsea. Brighton, of course, top the standings. They host Aston Villa. It's Tottenham against Reading, West Ham against Leicester, and a big one as Arsenal take on Manchester City to round out the weekend. 4 teams with maximum points so far after 2 games. Brighton lead the way, surprisingly, with that +7 goal difference. Arsenal in second, Manchester United third, Spurs surprising everyone in fourth with their 100% record. After that, Villa, Chelsea, Manchester City in 7th, then it's West Ham, Leicester, Birmingham, Reading and Everton, the bottom 4, all without a point so far. Well, Everton have set their ambitions at cracking the top 4 this term after finishing in 5th position last season. 15 points behind Manchester United in 4th, but achieving that will be tough after shipping 8 goals in back-to-back 4-0 defeats to Manchester City and Chelsea. However, Willie Kirk's summer business leaves reason for optimism as the Toffees prepare for the next run of matches. Tony Duggan returned to Merseyside after spells with Barcelona and Atleti, bringing genuine experience of the game's upper echelons. Depressing reading so far for Everton supporters. Played 2, lost 2 for Willie Kirk's side. That goal difference -8. 12th at the moment, propping up the standings as we've just seen. They were 5th last season, best of the rest. Can they crack the top 4? That's what they will be hoping to do. Easy Christiansen and McGill top scorers with 6 last season. The trip to Walton Hall Park is Birmingham's 2nd away day of the season after visiting Tottenham on the opening weekend, with the fixture presenting the opportunity for the Blues to land their first WSL points of the season. And Scott Booth will have a series of players with bolstered international experience following the recent Women's World Cup qualifiers at his disposal, including Lucy Quinn, who scored on her international debut for the Republic of Ireland. So the Birmingham numbers so far this season, again, the numbers don't make for pretty reading here. Played 2, lost 2. The goal difference is -6. They are currently 10th. Last season they were 11th. They only just avoided the drop with 14 points, 1 point more than Bristol City. Top scorer last season, Claudia Walker, with 5. She, of course, is now at West Ham. Well, let's check out the latest performance from both teams here. This was Everton's 4-0 loss at the hands of Chelsea. Fran Kirby with the first goal of the game on 25 minutes. Then an awful mistake by Megan Finnegan, and that allowed Sam Kerr to steal in to make it 2. And as the half rolled on, the third scored by Kerr. 15 minutes from time to make it 3. And then the fourth, Erin Cuthbert with the shot that crashed off the woodwork, and Beth England was on hand to make it 4. That was a heavy defeat for Everton last time out. Birmingham was even worse. This is Victoria Williams for Brighton after just 2 minutes. That made it 1-0. And then the second, after a penalty was awarded in the first minute of added-on time, Inessa Kagman converted to make it 2. The second half got worse for Birmingham. It started with Danielle Carter scoring for Brighton. Great to see Danielle Carter on the score sheet once again after all her injury issues. Emma Koivisto made it 4 with a well-directed header, perfectly placed. That was just 6 minutes later. And there was a 5th as well. Kaylee Green with a terrific finish here to make it 5 with 20 minutes remaining. Easy win for Brighton. Well, both teams on recovery missions then after poor performances and results last time out. The last time these two teams played, they shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. This time around, both coaches will be desperate for a win. We're in Liverpool today for WSL action, not quite high noon, but an early 11:30 a.m. kickoff as both Everton and Birmingham hope to find their shooting boots. Neither side have managed to score this term, and heavy defeats in both teams' first 2 matches means they prop up the table as action in the English top flight resumes after the international break. We're still very much in the early stages of the season. An expectant crowd certainly at Walton Hall Park. The senior side, incidentally, are playing at Goodison Park a little bit later on today. So a real opportunity for Blues fans to take in this game, watch Everton women play before maybe heading to see Rafa Benitez's side a little bit later on. Evertonians returning to the ground for the first time, incidentally, in 18 months here, having been in the stadium only once beforehand. That was back in February 2020 against Manchester United. And it looks like a decent crowd as well. Of course, they have played at Goodison Park this season, over 6,000 packed in then. Don't think we'll get that, but there will be an expectant crowd, and these supporters here will be hoping to see Willie Kirk's side win. He knows that there is a certain pressure attached to Everton this season. They felt the full force of Manchester City and Chelsea in recent weeks, but they are expected to go well. They were unable to find the net themselves in either contest, and they conceded 8 goals in the process. But the hosts will make history if they are to overcome Scott Booth's side today. The Merseysiders are yet to beat the Blues on home soil in the top flight, with the matchup delivering the lowest percentage of home wins for a fixture played more than 10 times in the Women's Super League. The Blues players coming out first and foremost. They were unable to avoid successive defeats as Brighton and Hove Albion took the points at St Andrews nearly a fortnight ago. That was an easy win for Brighton as well. Hope Powell's side running out 5-0 winners in the West Midlands. That, of course, after a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Spurs on match day 1, and they will be hoping to go better this time around. There's usually goals when these two sides play. The last meeting was in the West Midlands back in March of this calendar year. Everton winning by 4-0. It was a terrific display then. The last meeting here, as we've mentioned, a 1-1 draw. We've seen Everton win easily away from home, a 3-0 success in the Cup back in September of 2020 as well. But on home soil, it has been difficult for Everton. Let's check out the teams for you. Leonie Maier makes her Everton debut after leaving Arsenal at the end of last season. The German international, who twice won the Frauen Bundesliga with Bayern Munich and won the WSL Cup with Arsenal, starts today. 3 other changes from the side thrashed by Chelsea last time out, with Toni Duggan, Kenza Dali and Grace Clinton all recalled. It's 4-3-3. Duggan is the central striker. Well, the experienced Jay Pennock is one of 2 players recalled by Birmingham from their defeat to Brighton last time out. The summer signing from Sheffield United netted 4 times for her former club in the Championship last term. Gemma Lawley also returns, having missed the defeat to Brighton last time out. Cecilie Sanvey and Eleanor Ryan-Doyle both miss out. It's also 4-3-3. Sarah Ewens is through the middle. There's experience and youth on the bench for Everton, including French international Valerie Gauvin and teenage star Hannah Bennison. Birmingham are injury hit. Just the 5 subs named, as you can see. Arabella Suti, 1 absentee after suffering an ACL injury in training this month. So just a minute or so away from kick-off here. It's been a disappointing start to the season so far for both of these sides, who, if any, can get it right here. Everton expected to push the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, even Manchester City and Chelsea this season, and maybe jump into the top 4, maybe get a Champions League qualifying position. They were way off the pace last season. They have made some interesting signings over the course of the summer, and because of that, the pressure has mounted on Willie Kirk to make sure that he gets things right and gets a much better Everton side, an Everton side that can be competitive. Kenza Dali there, who was signed from West Ham, is a really good player and one expected to light up the Everton performances this season. She returns, incidentally, 3 goals last season for the Hammers, a couple of years at West Ham, a Champions League winner with Lyon back in 2017 and a vastly experienced French international. What can she bring to Everton? As for Birmingham, well, Beatrice Sari, who was signed from Sheffield United back in January, she scored on her debut, but only played once in the WSL. Certainly has got plenty of experience. It'd be interesting to see how she gets on. She's a Greek international. She played in the recent World Cup qualifier against Kazakhstan. That was a 3-2 home success just earlier this month. And again, there will be focus and emphasis on her. What can she conjure from midfield? It will be fascinating to find out. Our referee is Thomas Reeves, just about to get this fixture underway. Expecting goals, expecting these two sides to play with ambition here. Given their poor starts to the season, they both know this is a huge opportunity to go well. Well, both sets of players take a knee. There is no room for racism. Underway then at Walton Hall Park. It's the home of Everton women, and Everton expected to pick up the 3 points here against Birmingham, despite the fact that both of these two sides have played 2-1-2 so far this campaign. It's a depressing stat for both. Things must get better, and for Everton in particular, you would suggest that that must be today. They are a side with ambition, a side that everyone surrounding them has put an awful lot of energy and effort and finance into making sure that they compete with the best. For Birmingham, it is slightly different, but of course Scott Booth has come down from Scotland and he will be demanding of his players. He was so successful north of the border, of course, with Glasgow City women, 5 titles in 6 years, and picked up a Scottish Cup as well. He is a winner and he will demand plenty from the players in yellow as they are today. Birmingham in their change strip. Everton will look to try and clear, just clipped away by Izzy Christiansen, who was top goal scorer last season, also weighed in with 6 assists as well. She is very much the heartbeat of the Everton side when she's on form. Involved in 10 of Everton's 16 home WSL goals last campaign. She led the way for chances created and passes played into the box for the Toffees on home soil in the last campaign. Birmingham, though, with a free kick here that's flicked away. Harriet Scott will look to try and recycle. Twist and a turn away from Tony Duggan, who sticks to her task well. Duggan goes to ground. This is Quinn. Some sliding challenges coming in that don't quite get the ball, and an opportunity for Everton to try and break here. This is Kenta Dali. One back by Pennock. And then Dali has it once more. Good movement over on the right-hand side here. Dali again, can she pull the trigger? It's a really good block. This is Galli. Clipped inside the area, and the looping header is palmed away, but the flag is up anyway. Well, Grace Clinton's just 18 years old. She made her debut last season. This is a seasonal bout. 6 appearances last campaign for the teenager. Young player with a big, big future. This is Turner. Everton have lost their last 5 in all competitions, including 4 in the Women's Super League, obviously going back to last season as well as 2 this term. No wins in their last 6 in all competitions. Their last win coming against Durham in the FA Cup, a 2-1 success back in April. Eventually knocked out in the round of 16 by Chelsea. Side that Birmingham will play, incidentally, in the quarterfinals, which comes up in midweek. Big game for the Blues, making it through to the last 8 stage of the Women's FA Cup. runners-up in that competition in 2017 and winners back in 2012. It's also brought some success for Everton over the years as well, but they went out of the competition in the previous round. Birmingham's form is hardly better. They've lost their last 4 in the Women's Super League as well, conceding 11, failing to score in the process. Obviously the 2 this season and 2 late last campaign. Without a win in 17 now in the Women's Super League since getting the better of Aston Villa by 1-0 back in November of 2020. It is a long, long time. Hoisted inside the penalty area, cleared away by George. Birmingham hunting just an opening here to try and get their attackers in good positions. Lucy Quinn was lurking a few moments ago. This is Sari. Well, she's just 23. Came through at Leeds and filed before moving to Sheffield United and then on to Birmingham in the summer, in January rather of the calendar year. But just that one substitute appearance against Aston Villa in the 1-1 home draw back in April of 2021. Real chance for her to impress. Cleared away by Aurora Galli. Flicks further forward here. This is Maier. Really good signing for Everton. Leonie Maier came from Arsenal last season. Galli's another with plenty of experience, former Juventus player who won some 3 titles and 1 Coppa Italia in Italy. Vastly experienced Italian international as well. Really good start here from Birmingham, just pushing Everton back. The defender Natalie Bjorn with some last-ditch stuff there to clear. Well, a positive start certainly from Birmingham in the opening 6 minutes or so. Everton decide to go long. Touch is just a little heavy from Claire Emslie on that right-hand side, just unable to pick up possession. Should be cleared away here by Birmingham. This is Quinn. Loses out to George. Confident play initially, but the radar is a little off with the pass. Emslie once again on the right-hand side. That's cleverly done, and now Everton maybe with some space to work with Christiansen. Turner to drive forward. This is Duggan. Oh, it's a good-looking ball. Dali in a good position here. Can't quite pull the trigger. Clinton will aim it back. This is Duggan with a shot. Well, just couldn't quite wrap the right boot around it. Well, we know what she's capable of. She's had a wonderful career and keen to do well for Everton, having come back to English football from Atletico Madrid. Was in and out of the starting lineup last season in Spain, just the 1 goal as well, which for a player of her ability was a little disappointing, although she played a little further back in that Atleti side. Real star for Barcelona, 20 goals in 51 appearances and runner-up in the Champions League back in 2019. Title winner with Manchester City, of course, after moving from Everton, where she started her career. Back now with the Merseyside club, desperate to help Everton rise up the standings once more. She did not start the defeat last time out to Chelsea, back in the starting lineup. She did play against former club Manchester City on the opening weekend of the season, obviously on the losing side there. This is Galli. Just plays in that central area, very much a tempo player. Duggan looks to chest it down. Doesn't quite fall for Christiansen. Here is Duggan once again. This is Dali. It's a hit with plenty of pace and power, but always rising. Well, 3 goals last season for West Ham. Her last goal coming against Reading in a 5-0 success back in April of 2021. Had a couple of years at West Ham after one at Dijon previously with Lille, and a real star with Lyon. 2 spells, of course, there, and a Champions League winner after 5 seasons at Paris Saint-Germain. 5 French title successes and 2 National Cup winners' medals as well. French international, whose last cap was earlier this month in an easy 10-0 away success against Greece in a World Cup qualifier. Sarah Ewing's looking to show her pace, but Gabrielle George once again reads the place so well. This is Dali. Maier over on that right-hand side. Dali will go again. Plenty of movement in front and to the right and to the left-hand side. It's a deeper cross that's coming in, and it's nodded away. Bravely done as well. Terrific defensive header. And Louise Quinn, who is one of the best, signed from Fiorentina. In between keeper and attacker, taking full responsibility. The ball just ricocheted around and it goes out for a corner. Birmingham City players not happy with that. Pressure just beginning to build maybe on that Birmingham back line. It will be tested. Louise Quinn should be good enough. 4 years at Arsenal. Experienced performer. Had success in Sweden as well. Really good campaign in Italy with Fiorentina last season. In comes the corner, high hanging ball for Birmingham to deal with. This is Lisa Robertson, nowhere to go really. Izzy Christiansen piles on the pressure. After a bright start, Birmingham now under pressure. This is Dali for Everton. Has been busy already in the opening 10 minutes. Really good tempo to this fixture. Emslie to try and turn. Crossfield ball is good, taken down by Turner expertly here on her right side. That's Duggan, makes the ball do the works. Really good play. Back towards Duggan, edge of the penalty area. Won't come to Christiansen. Birmingham looking to clear, and eventually the foul came in from Christiansen. Just a little unlucky, I think, there. You can see that she's had her arms out, asking what that was for. Robinson maybe just caught. Lisa Robertson, who's on loan from Celtic, played for Durham for a couple of years in the Championship in the 2nd tier. Cup winner in Scotland with Hibs. Look at the press here from Everton. Dali and Emslie making life very difficult for Birmingham. Everton have never beaten Birmingham at home in the WSL in 7 previous attempts. 4 draws, 3 defeats. Only Bristol City against Arsenal and Liverpool against Arsenal. Both 9 games have played an opponent more often at home without winning in WSL history. Just a quirk, really, because Everton have done so well away from home against Birmingham, but they've just had a situation where they've been unable to get the better of Birmingham on home turf. Emslie comes back. And Everton will build again. Duggan. This is Turner. Now it's with George. Bjorn just behind here as Galli will take a touch once again. Now it's with Dali. Ball over the top. Great running here. Christiansen, edge of the penalty area. Clinton looks to take the shot on. She might get another go here. It's a really good block. And then the measured effort finds its way into the corner. Perfectly placed. Inch perfect stuff. Somehow finding the corner here with a well-placed effort. Really good run through the centre from Izzy Christiansen. And as it came out here to Grace Clinton, she had the first go. That was well blocked. Maier on hand to turn in. Not quite sure if Emily Ramsey got anything on this or not. Let's have another look. This angle will be able to tell us as much. Did it take a slight deflection? Oh, it did. Now that's really unlucky. Ramsey wrong-footed. Maier's effort took the deflection. There's nothing really the keeper could do. Touch of fortune, but that's Everton's first goal of the season. And surely Whitley Kirk's side are off and running with their campaign now. Leonie Maier with Everton's first of the campaign, but a deflected effort. They will not mind too much. Now Birmingham need to respond. Plenty of yellow inside the penalty area here. Everton will clear with Galli. Dali away. Emslie on the right-hand side. Christiansen is calling for it. Clinton through the centre. Roll back towards Bjorn. Now it's with Turner. Bjorn deciding to stride forward.
Gabby, wider, Gabs. Ball speed better.
This is George. Duggan round the corner. Dali will pick it up. Everton on the move once again. Low ball in from Turner. That's a really good block, but Everton are finding their range here. Maier, who failed to score for Arsenal in 25 appearances for the London side in the WSL. But she's got her first Everton goal on her debut. Bjorn to curl in, terrific ball. Emslie tried to guide it back and is offside. Clever delivery, just made the move a split second too soon. Offside, correct call. Birmingham look to clear. That's Holloway over on the left-hand side. Everton win it back. Ball does not go out. Play continues. Stab forward towards Duggan. Flick back towards Christiansen. It was a nice idea. The back heel just did not have enough weight on it. This is George.
Well done, Dan. Be patient. Narrow quick.
Christiansen. Duggan had spun there, rather Emslie had spun the wrong way. Well, Birmingham's last come from behind success came back in 2019 in April of that year when they were 1-0 down away to West Ham before coming back to win 2-1. It's a long time before they've come back from a losing position to pick up 3 points in the Women's Super League. And while the historical stats about their performances away at Everton are good, their numbers when it comes to trailing in fixtures and going on to win games is not so much. Well, one suspects that Scott Booth is going to get through quite a few sheets of A4, scribbling down what he believes has gone right and wrong. More in the wrong column so far for Birmingham. Really good player in his time with Aberdeen. 2 spells, had a brief spell at Dortmund in Germany as well. Also played successfully at Twente in the Netherlands, a cup winner. And an astute coach of the Glasgow City women's side before moving to Birmingham in the summer. 11th last couple of campaigns though for Birmingham. They know they are a side that have struggled recently. Previous to those 2 11th place finishes, Birmingham were 5th and 4th. One of the founder members of the Women's Super League. Integrated with the men's team over the last decade as well. Have had some success for the early days of the WSL, but very much one of the sides that were challenging the natural order of things with Arsenal and Chelsea, who went toe-to-toe in the early stages of the league before Manchester City had some investment, and of course Manchester United are new to the league as well now. Big 4 of sorts. Birmingham and Everton always would suggest would be best of the rest, certainly Everton, even though they have had to battle like Birmingham have had in tough situations outside of challenging for silverware over the last few years. Ramsey, unluckily beaten. This is Quinn.
Yes, aggressive, aggressive. Go on, Grace.
Scott goes long. Awkward bouncing ball for Ewens. Might get another opportunity here, though. Birmingham just a little narrow. Can they conjure here? This is Sadi with a shot. She's the most likely, along with Sarah Ewens so far, has Beatrice Sada. Sadi's effort always rising. Plenty of power, no real precision. Aurora Galli will clear away. This is Kenza Dali. Only Maier, the goal scorer, trying to get Emslie in over on that right-hand side. That's just asking a little bit too much of Claire Emslie. Scored against Birmingham in that 4-0 success last season back in March. It's her third season at Everton, having played in Australia and the United States. Was a title winner with Melbourne City. Everton win it back. Not for long. Chance for Harriet Scott to come forward here for Birmingham. Everybody in field at the moment.
Good, good. Close the options. Good, well done.
Cleared away by Turner.
And release.
This is Dali. Well, had a hand in the goal. A shot that was blocked that eventually spun out towards Leonie Maier. Robertson under pressure. Birmingham have lost their last 3 all to nil, conceding 11 away from home, and since the start of the 1920 season, no side has failed to score in more away WSL matches than Birmingham, 12 all told. Failed to score in their last 3, attempting just 11 shots in the process. 19 shots so far this season, home and away in the previous 2 games, 9th of 12. But Everton, would you believe, just 12 shots. That's the fewest in WSL after the first 2 games. Obviously that has changed now. Always going to be interesting to see which one of these 2 sides would dominate possession, because Everton with 43.1% average so far this season, but Birmingham 36.6. Well, that has to change, doesn't it? This is Ramsey. Everton lead by 1-0. Birmingham, after a bright start, conceding ground and conceding the opening goal of the game. Looking for a response. We've not seen it just yet from the Midlands side. This is Holloway rampaging over on that left-hand side. Needs a little bit of help. Finds it in the shape of Jamie Finn. Leonie Maier wins it back. This is Christiansen, first time to the right-hand side. And the breakaway is on here with Dali, who shows pace and skill here to run at the Birmingham back line. She still has possession. Now it's with Christiansen. The ball wasn't so good. Nice idea to just try and lay it off for the onrushing Christiansen, but it's cleared away. Game just opening up a little bit. Ewens with a really good run here. Can she take it away from the keeper? Maciver's come a long way. She's not had that much to do. Just 23. Came racing outside to deal with the danger here. Made her England debut earlier on in the calendar year in a 6-0 success against Northern Ireland in a friendly back in February. In the end, she's done well there, because Ewan's effort may well have just been sneaking in beyond her if the left knee doesn't come down. Young keeper who went to college in the United States, as many players do. She was at Clemson for 3 years. This is Quinn. Easily intercepted. Tony Duggan, right place, right time. Kenza Dali will pick it up. Clinton, left-hand side. Emslie over on the right flank. This is Galli. rides the challenge well. Sari unable to pick her pocket, but then it's won back by Robertson. Quinn. Louise Quinn to come forward. Well, just got a little bit too much on that. Harriet Scott was the intended target over on that right-hand side, but unfortunately, Lucy Quinn unable to find her. English-born Irish international for Scott Booth's side. Played in the 3-2 win over Australia earlier this month in a friendly. This is Galli under pressure. She's got 3 Birmingham City players around her. She shows real composure. Here she is once again. Now it's with George. This is Duggan. Control just a little off. Opportunity for Scott to break forward. Does take the shot on. Safe hands from Sandy McIver. Kenza Dali. Layoff is good from Clinton. Maier lets it run. Now it's with Dali once more. Eventually back with Bjorn. This is George. Here is Natalie Bjorn. Olympic silver medalist, played in the final against Canada, beaten on penalties. Bjorn with a crossfield ball. Duggan to take it down. That's good control from Tony Duggan. Turner gets the cross in, and the header at the far post is in the side netting. A really good play. Once again popping up in an advanced position. Duggan here with the skill and the layoff. Turner with the cross. Maier just unable to finish on this occasion. Difficult angle, awkward height. Came to her quickly. Firstly experienced some 8 years with Bayern Munich and then Arsenal for a couple. This is Dali, lays off for Christiansen. Nearly runs through for Clinton. Quinn to turn.
Make it, Tone, make it. Good, well done, push the pass.
Scott. Kept in play by Sari.
Come on, Q, that's the run.
This is Gavi George. Now it's with Turner. Well, Everton a little more composed, you would suggest, at the moment. They're managing the game well. It was a game that started at 100 miles an hour with neither side really setting the tempo. But it's slowed down a little recently, and Everton are beginning to dictate play, certainly having more of the ball, you would imagine. This is Turner. Now it's with Duggan. Good strong play from Harriet Scott to win it back. It's been a good battle so far between the pair.
Good decision, Gabs. Good decision with the pass, good.
Two sides' expected goal number heading into this fixture, incidentally. For Everton, 0.91, the lowest in the Women's Super League, and for Birmingham, 1.208, only Reading and Everton lower. Neither side have really been creating chances in those heavy defeats, or at least 3 of the 4 games were. It was narrow, obviously, when Birmingham were beaten by Tottenham. But maybe a little unlucky to concede as many as they have done heading into this weekend fixtures. Their expected goals against for Birmingham 3.36, and they conceded 6. And for Everton conceding 8, but only off an expected goal conceded number of 4.94. So just gives you the indication that they perhaps haven't been as bad defensively as those defeats would suggest. Maybe deserve to have at least scored. Something that Everton have done here, as they have the advantage by a 1-0 against the Birmingham side, who are staring at losing their opening 3 games this season, and that would be for a 3rd consecutive campaign, having done so last term and the previous season. You delve further back in the archive to the 18-19 term, that was under Mark Skinner. They won their first 3 fixtures. Hasn't gone to plan since then, but they still are a WSL side, having flirted with relegation last couple of seasons. Just the 1 point above Bristol City last term, and they did get a point docked for fielding an ineligible player in a fixture. They won 3 of 22. It's hardly great numbers. Scored 15, joint fewest in the top flight. And speaking of expected goals, that number last season was just over 10. Competition's their salvation to a certain extent, through to the quarter-final of the Cup. They play Chelsea on Wednesday. Expecting a good crowd then, although they were knocked out the group stages of the WSL Cup, as were Everton. Vocal on the sidelines usually Willie Kirk, and he's getting his instructions across throughout. Will be relatively happy, I would imagine, after the opening half an hour. This is Kenza Dali, who's seen plenty of the ball. Likewise, Tony Duggan, always willing to drop deep. Now it's with Danielle Turner as Everton fashion another attack. What can the Blues do here? Turner to break forward. This is Dali. Clinton waits inside the penalty area. Duggan and Christiansen both want it. This is Tony Duggan to get the cross in. It'll flick towards Christiansen. Can she get the shot away? It's cleared away once more by Robertson. Well, when Everton just begin to up their game a little and up the tempo, there is real danger for Birmingham. Terrific play from Tony Duggan once again. Really good awareness, terrific run, perfectly timed. The ball was a little high, wasn't the worst. She's still got an awful lot of quality. 30 now, and has been a real start for the last decade. England international. Only 1 goal in 10 against Birmingham, but 3 assists. More than against any other side in the Women's Super League, so she might not score too many against the Midlands club, but she can set them up. Christiansen flicks away. Clinton does well against the imposing Quinn. George will nod to the halfway line. This is Galli. Birmingham do well. Scott. This is Quinn. Oh, it's a clever ball. Maybe an opportunity for Pennock here. Still going forward. Really good hit. Terrific goal. Oh, something really special there from Birmingham. Pennock's effort just arrowed into the corner. And we're all square here. Well, Everton just switch off, don't they? Good positioning. Good passage of play. That's terrific control, and they just keep backing away. Jade Pennock, who gets her first goal since moving from Sheffield United in the summer, and it's a peach of a strike. Just look at that. Just when we thought that Everton had a semblance of control in this fixture, we should know, given what's gone beyond this campaign, that it was never going to be easy for either of these two teams. We're back level. Galli. Turner. Back towards George. Now it's with Bjorn. Space on the right-hand side for Maier, potentially. Here is the Everton goal scorer down the line. That's a good ball. Emslie in field. Maier has it once again. Pace of play has been really good in the opening half an hour. Real snap of the passes. The movement's been excellent. And here comes Emslie once again. Christiansen inside the area. It takes a deflection out for a corner. There was real danger there. Devilment in the Everton play as they race into advanced positions. Everton have been pegged back here, but they do have a corner. Emslie with the signal. deep inside the 6-yard box. Really good claim from Ramsey, on loan from Manchester United. Had loans at West Ham and Sheffield United previously. Just a couple of appearances for United in their championship winning season of the 2018-19 term. Hasn't played in the WSL with United. This is a big opportunity for the 20-year-old keeper to establish herself as a top-flight stopper. England under-21 international. Robertson's header away. Bjorn to flick it forward. Duggan to help it on. Hook to safety once more. Well, to join the ATA football community and access more women's football content, matches and highlights, don't forget to visit atafootball.com. Turner down the line. Christiansen to chase. Turner loses out, Sari wins it. All the way back to Maciver as Everton build from the back once more. 35 minutes gone, been a terrific game so far. And I think even though these two sides have been poor in the first two matches, they both looked at this fixture and thought, well, this is a game surely we can get something from, we can play with ambition. Take the handbrake off, as someone once famously said, and both have looked to take the game to their opponents from the first whistle. It's been really refreshing. Some excellent play as well, and when you see them play like this, certainly from an attacking point of view, you wonder why they were well beaten in both of their first two games. Well, certainly from an Everton point of view, coming up against Manchester City and Chelsea, never going to be easy, but I guess Birmingham will be thinking, well, Tottenham and Brighton, it should have been a gentle introduction to the Premier League campaign, the Super League campaign, but that's not been the case with those defeats, and they know that they've got big games to come against tough opponents. They will have been desperate to get some points on the board. It hasn't happened, so pressure may be more on them here. Well, Duggan surely can let that one bounce behind for a corner. Did come off Harriet Scott. George and Bjorn up from the back, the two centre halves for Everton here. Birmingham have to keep their shape, their discipline. Watch the runners. Looks like player to player marking inside the 6-yard box here. It's a packed 6-yard box. It's flicked back towards the penalty spot, thumped away. Lost the last two at home. Willie Kirk will know that stat. Obviously to Manchester City this season and to Arsenal late last campaign. Prior to those two defeats, they'd won 2 on the spin, 1 in League, 1 in Cup. Last win coming against Durham in the FA Cup at home. Last WSL win against Villa back in April. Only won 1 of their last 6 in league play and only 4 of their last 13 in the Women's Super League at home. And depressingly, from a defensive point of view, that's now no clean sheets in 7 in the league on their own patch. Good-looking ball in towards Dali, cleared away by Harriet Scott. Birmingham have it once again. Here's the goal scorer. Robertson lays it back. This is Ramsey.
Work it, Grace! Work it!
Quinn strides forward, just looks for a little bit of movement. Well, that's a really good ball towards Harriet Scott. If she can keep it in play, oh, she's unlucky. It was a good run. She couldn't have run any quicker in terms of the movement because she would have been offside. She had to just wait. Made giant strides on the right-hand side, but just unable to keep that one in play. And Scott Booth is warming to his task here. Turner to take the throw. Good pressure from the Birmingham players. Look how many personnel they've got. Well, they've won the first header here through Quinn, but not the second. And then Louise Quinn. There's the perpetrator here. We've got Louise and Lucy for Birmingham. Everton restart quickly. Willie Kirk will be desperate to get his side back in front before the break. Half-time team talk will be very different depending on the scoreline, of course. This is Bjorn, now it's with George. Just 20 touches in the opposition penalty area in the first 2 games. Birmingham's number was just 15. Just unable to make their presence felt at all in their first 2 matches. I think from a Birmingham point of view, we'll see that for much of the season. They are a counter-attacking side. Everton will want to try and dominate in games such as this. Both young squads. Birmingham's second youngest, just over 25. Likewise, Everton third youngest. This is Pennock. Sometimes experience is everything. Scott to curl in towards that back post. And it's a good jump from Rebecca Holloway. Certainly taller than Leonie Maier. Good persistence here from Pennock. Good strength from Holloway, but just unable to get to that. Third season now at Birmingham for Rebecca Holloway, who went to college in the States, and it comes once again towards Holloway. Ewens with a volley. Oh, it's a difficult chance. Trying to keep it down. Got to keep your knee over the ball. It's a difficult thing to execute from a corner, certainly, as it bounces really high. Spinning ball. It's not the worst effort. She's got a little bit of dip on it, just not enough. She's worked tirelessly, signed from Celtic in the summer. Once of Hibs and Spartans, Scottish junior international of a few years ago. Certainly something to prove here in the Women's Super League, but Scott Booth will know all about those players that have come from Scotland to England and whether they can perform at this level. Never going to be easy initially, but he's backing them to come good over the course of the term. This is George. Well, Maciver is way outside of a penalty area. Sweeper keeper. Bjorn. Pace of play just slowed down a little. To be expected at any level. Really good tempo in this first half. Terrific game so far. And 1 apiece. Feels about right. Everton will say that they've had more of the ball, which is probably right. Had the ball in dangerous areas a little bit more. That would be fair as well. Possession stats 66-34 in Everton's favour. Birmingham have looked to try and play on the counter in situations like this, just curled forward, but that's just going to spin away from Lucy Quinn. Happy to chase it down. This is Bjorn to clear. Emslie looks to keep it in play, but can't. It's Maier, in fact, on that right-hand side in an advanced position. She's always going to join in. She's a versatile performer. Lay back by Christiansen. This is George. Under pressure from Scott. Just a little out of position maybe here, the right back. She's playing in a more advanced role. Here is Bjorn again. George. Intercepted by Ewens. Really good play as well as she goes again. That's good movement here from Birmingham's number 9. Needs a little bit of help here. Ewens skillfully looks to get to the byline and she wins a corner. That's really good play. She didn't have too much on there. She's going to be a real asset, I think, this season. Needs to get a first goal for her new club, but she's got herself in some good positions. Tireless runner as well. And Birmingham have managed to get themselves a corner here. Only the second of the game for the visitors. High inside the penalty area. That's just going to bounce away. No one arriving at the back post, disappointingly. Beatrice Sari, the delivery just too strong. You can see everyone came towards the centre of the goal. No one really gambling round the back. Dali, who started really promisingly, faded just a little as the half has gone on, but she's back involved here and she's dug out the ball towards Duggan. Terrific keeping from Ramsey. Really good goalkeeping. Duggan was lurking in a very good position. Terrific ball as well from Dali on that right-hand side. Down the line by Turner. This is Christiansen. Tony Duggan calling for it. Once again, the reverse ball finds Tony Duggan. She's got two players to try and deal with here. Can she win a corner? Well, eventually it's out for a throw. Good persistent play. How about this for a ball? Quick look up. Who's making the move? Duggan inside the penalty area. And that's brilliant goalkeeping. Outside of the 6-yard box, the ball is curling away from the keeper. It's a difficult one to deal with. She gets to the pitch of the ball well, does Emily Ramsey, but that's a sensational ball. Really good play all round. 45 is nearly up. Is there a sting in the tail of the opening half for Birmingham here as Everton come forward? They lose possession. Midlanders turn to try and counter. Quinn with the ball to the left-hand side. Well, that's a shame because Ewens was calling for it. And Sari was also in a good position. We've not seen Beatrice Sari in an advanced position that often on the counter. This is Maier, challenged by Ewens. We are deep into 1 minute of added on time at the end of the first half. It's proved that these two sides have got plenty to offer this season. They may well have not picked up a point yet this term. But one suspects if they can find some consistency, there will be no back markers this campaign. And potentially can both rise up the standings. Not going to be easy with the powerhouses of Chelsea, City United, and Arsenal, of course. But there is some talented performers in the ranks of both of these squads. And we've seen it in flashes over the course of the opening half here. Well, Leonie Maier on her debut, grabbing her first goal for her new club. A deflected effort to give Everton the lead, and at that stage Everton were the dominant force. However, Jay Pennock, her first goal since moving from Sheffield United in the summer, drilled low into the corner, has given Birmingham an equaliser, and Willie Kirk plenty to think about. Really good opening 45 minutes of football on Merseyside and at Walton Hall Park. At the break, it's Everton 1, Birmingham City 1. 5 minutes, 7 shots for Everton, 5 for Birmingham. Just the one on target for Everton, but of course that was the goal. 3 for Birmingham, really even half over the course of the opening 45 minutes here. 3 corners to Everton, 2 to Birmingham. All set up very nicely indeed for the second 45 minutes worth of football. But we can take a look back at the best of the action from the first 45 next. Really good start to the game, Kenza Dali, with the effort from outside the penalty area, always rising. Really good hit. Don't think it was ever going to trouble Emily Ramsey in the Birmingham goal, but even so, really good play and movement outside the penalty area, really, from the Everton personnel. An awful lot forwards here, but that effort always rising. And then the first goal of the game, and the ball through the centre for Christiansen. The flick attempted to get to Clinton. Eventually it got there. Her first effort was blocked, as was her second. But how about this for first reaction? Maier, as the ball came to her quickly, just guided it towards goal. It did take a deflection. You'll see here that Ramsey was wrong-footed, but the pull-up play was excellent. Birmingham just unable to deal with a bouncing ball. A couple of shots from Grace Clinton, and then eventually off the deflection into the corner. Leonie Maier with her first goal in Everton colours, and despite having 2 seasons at Arsenal in the Women's Super League, that's her first league strike in England. Not renowned for scoring goals in a time in Germany, but even so, nice to get off the mark. But you can see here the deflection that caught Ramsey wrong-footed. That was 1-0, and then we saw a bit of a reaction from Birmingham. Sari, Greek international, showing good devilment here, just half a yard to twist one way then the other and get the shot away, but once again always rising. Sari, who scored against Villa last season, moved from Sheffield United in January of the calendar year. Best chance that she could muster in the first half. Certainly some good interchange and some good play between the Birmingham players when they got the ball in advanced areas, and when Duggan lost possession here, there was real danger on. Scott coming forward, just need to get a bit better direction on that. Safe pair of hands from Sandy McIver. Neat play nonetheless from Harriet Scott. It's been a real threat over on that right-hand side. Leonie Maier to the fore a few minutes later. This time a header, difficult one. Came to her at an awkward height, just looked to stoop into that one. Hits the side netting. Once again, good movement. And what Everton have done over the course of the first 45 is they've switched the play really well. Duggan's been a willing runner on that left-hand side. Danielle Turner with a cross. Leonie Maier just unable to finish here. But the approach play once again from Willie Kirk's side has been first class. They have had more of the opportunities, better opportunities, you would sense, really, than Birmingham. Tony Duggan, always a threat, running that inside channel once again. Cross that came in, Christiansen's effort was smothered. That's the area that I'm sure Scott Booth will be concerned about, because she's making those movements, those runs all the time, getting in some really dangerous areas. Really good cross, but Everton unable to convert on that occasion. And then Everton backed off. There's Pennock, picked up possession in midfield. It's a clever ball through in the end, because Everton at this stage you think, well, they're set okay, but they just back away from Jade Pennock here, who takes a couple of touches, but that's inch perfect, isn't it? Real power and precision from the player signed from Sheffield United. 4 goals last campaign in the Championship, the last against Blackburn back in May. She finished the season well, and she started this season promisingly as well. First goal in Birmingham colours, and that levelled things up at 1 apiece. Just look at this. Real precision. Pace slackened a little as the half wore on, but there was one last opportunity. Just didn't quite fall for Christiansen, Duggan rather, racing inside the penalty area, but the cross is just brilliant. Really good goalkeeping from Ramsey. Pushed away. The outswinger causing all sorts of problems. Well, the moments of the half is brought to you by Atta Football. For more premium European women's football content, visit attafootball.com. Not surprising, the moment of the half was the goal from Jade Pennock. This is something really special. Always special to get your first goal for your new club, but how about this strike? Brilliant finish, and that made it 1-1. So one apiece here, 45 minutes still remaining. More to come on Sunday in the Women's Super League, as you can see, in some really good matches in prospect, including Manchester United, Chelsea, Brighton, top of the table, of course, against Villa. It's Spurs against Reading, West Ham against Leicester, and arguably the best match of the weekend, Arsenal taking on Manchester City. Live table for you. Birmingham and Everton fans breathe a sigh of relief because their sides have moved away from the foot of the standings. Leicester and Reading, of course, have got that game in hand at the moment, still without a point. At the top, Brighton, we know, lead the way. Really good start from Brighton, bit of a surprise package. Likewise, Tottenham, Arsenal and Manchester United, we expected to see there. Chelsea and City have got a little bit of work to do. That's the Women's Super League as it stands. Chelsea, of course, have been in action and they've been really good so far this season, in particular in their win last time out, and we can relive that now.
Everton have contained Chelsea well so far. Champions have another shot on goal. Here's Kirby, though, looking to change all that work to do. Oh, she's done it magnificently. Midway through the half, and Chelsea have the breakthrough. It's the first shot on target, and what an effort it was. Check back inside and beautifully bent it home beyond Maciver. 1-0 Chelsea. Bjorn couldn't do enough to stop the shot getting away. Now Everton need to keep it very tight here at the start of the second half. Maciver to Finnegan. Oh my goodness me! That's an absolute gift. Sam Kerr gobbled it up. And whatever Willie Kirk said to his players at half-time, he'd have said keep it tight. For goodness sake, what is that all about? An absolute present for Sam Kerr's first of the season. Horrible defending. 2-0 Chelsea. Kirby onto the left-hand side. Harder's in the middle. Kerr is there as well. She looks long, though, for Ingle. Into Kerr. And Harder off the post. Could have been 3. Very unlucky. She played well again, Pernille Harder. She's had several efforts on goal and deserved to score this. Kirby picked out Ingle, scuffed by Kerr, and off the woodwork. Kirby had a fine game. G has been exceptional. Cuthbert on the left has been super. Wright has played well. Lovely cross. Oh, that's the best goal of the game. Sam Kerr. 73 minutes gone. The game has been won and lost. Kerr, brilliant header. Maciver, no chance. Power on the cross and on the header. Ingle. Again, Wright had so much space on this left throughout the game, all the way through. Cuthbert off the woodwork and in by Bethany England. She's only been on a moment or two from the Chelsea bench, and she gets a goal. Cuthbert, player of the match, unlucky with the shot that hit the woodwork. Chelsea handsome winners here by 4-0.
Well, Chelsea in great form against Everton last time out, and they take on Manchester United away from home in one of the games of the weekend. That's Sunday, 26th of September. Welcome back to Walton Hall Park, Liverpool. Everton taking on Birmingham in the Women's Super League, and Everton making a change here. Aurora Galli is the player to go off, to be replaced by, as you can see, Anna Bennison, the 18-year-old Swedish international, and she will take her place in midfield for this second half. Underway for the second half then here. Everton 1, Birmingham 1. Hugely enjoyable opening 45 minutes worth of football at Walton Hall Park, and hopefully we'll get a winner here. Everton have had more of the ball, created more opportunities, but Birmingham more shots on target, and they look fairly good on the break. I think the pattern of play will remain as it was in that first half, because Everton do like to dominate when they can. Birmingham more of a counter-attacking side. They are set up that way. Plenty of pace on the break. They've got Ewens who can hold things up as well. Really is up to Everton to try and be the more ambitious and play a little bit more on the front foot. And that change is an interesting one, because Bennison is a real star in the making. This is Dali coming forward. He's already a star. That's a decent looking ball in towards the back post. Oh, well, there's no communication inside the penalty area there. Clinton's header was down and comfortably saved by Ramsey, but there were better options, as you will see on this replay here. Duggan and Christiansen both inside the penalty area, and if Clinton lets it bounce to Duggan, well, who knows what might have happened. Whether she got the call or not, I don't know. Ramsey under pressure, but I think she's won herself a goal kick here. That's clever and cool play from Emily Ramsey. Well, Everton looking to start quickly then in this second half. Oh dear, Ramsey. Well, this is a situation that we just saw a few moments ago, wasn't it? Gets away with it just. Clearance is not that much better. It was Emslie that nodded it down. She's a good keeper on loan from Manchester United, just 20. Big future ahead of her. Don't see too many mistakes. Very good shot stopper, reads the game well. Seen that already in this fixture. Christiansen with a crossfield ball. Duggan looks to try and control, but unable to get the ball beyond Harriet Scott, and suddenly Birmingham are on the counter. Ewens is through the centre here. This is Lucy Quinn on the right-hand side. Quinn just gets her head up here. Only Ewens to try and aim at inside the penalty area. Can she get the cross in? Oh, she's still going forward. She's done brilliantly. Lifts it towards the far post, cleared away by Leonie Maier. And then the shot from Pennock is charged down. Robertson thought about taking it on. Takes a deflection. It's a little bit awkward as Everton look to try and clear, and then Duggan just stumbles. And Birmingham slide in but don't win possession. Really good start to this second half. Plenty of pace about both sides here. Turner to take the throw. One back, Pennock. Ball ricocheting from one team to another. Scott down the line once again. Cross has been dug out, but it is unable to just curl inside the penalty area. A difficult one really to try and wrap the right boot around that. Everton play out from the back as per usual. Christiansen deep on this occasion. Spins it back here towards Maciver. Another young keeper, just 23. This is Bjorn. He's got so much experience, signed from Rosengard in the summer. Title winner in Sweden. Ramsey gets down well to the edge of the area. Really good handling. Holloway. Oh, it's good dynamic play here from Rebecca Holloway, and it's a really good run, and she keeps going forward. Ewens waits inside the penalty area. Oh, that's really experienced play from Bjorn. How about that for defensive work? Super stuff. Well, she played in the Olympic final against Canada, scored in the shootout. Penalty loss, of course, to the North American side in the Swedish World Cup squad of 2019, but didn't play. Last cap recently against Georgia in a 4-0 home win just earlier this month. Confident play to just ease Holloway away. This is Robertson. Well, that's a good-looking ball if Ewens is onside here. With the Everton players looking to the assistant, the flag eventually goes up. It's one of those that's a bit frustrating. We wait until the player actually gets a touch on it. She bent her run, but not quite enough. Well, he skips away from one challenge. Robertson unable to get the ball, nearly got the player. It's good work from Dali to stay on her feet. She has shown her quality in bursts, that is for certain. Christiansen gets ready to take Bjorn and Georgia up from the back here for Everton. 6 minutes into the second half. Ramsey will have to deal with this one, I reckon, and it comes. Just pushed away. This is Maier. Takes the shot on from 25 yards or so, and it's ricochets around. Just offers her apologies there. I think there's probably better options on, but having scored one and nearly netted another in the first half, she's probably got every right to go for glory. Christiansen, short corner. Whipped in well. I think that Ramsey just got a fingertips to that. She had to come through a crowd of players to try and just turn it away. Another really good ball in deliveries from both sides, by and large, have been excellent. Putting the keepers under pressure. Ramsey with more to deal with here for Birmingham. You can see how packed it is inside that six-yard box. Quinn, the skipper, on her toes, waiting for the delivery, hoping to clear first time. Christiansen once more, left arm up this time around, maybe a slight change of tactic, let's see. Clip towards the centre of the 6-yard box, Quinn away, and then she gets taken out. That was a challenge that came through the back of her. Well, she is a tough performer, but I think she's been caught here, and we can see just a little bit of blood, unfortunately. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. That does not look good. Well, she's brave and she would never, ever duck out of a challenge, but she's been caught here. I'm not quite sure how. This is sensible from the staff here, from the medical staff, just making sure that she doesn't move too much. It's a blow, I think, to her head, maybe just to the side of the head. Let's have another look at this. Where does she get the contact here? Is it an elbow? Oh, my word, it's George coming in. And as Quinn just flicks it away, George comes in to try and head herself, and George is also just receiving a little bit of treatment. That was a sickening blow. There's no blood, thankfully, for Gabby George to deal with, but Quinn obviously felt the full force of that because she was the player that was heading away, so she turned her head and obviously didn't see Gabby George, but that does not look good at all. Wholehearted play and brave play. And ultimately very, very good play because the defensive header was excellent. The ball in was terrific. But unfortunately, sometimes we get these collisions, and that one, not for the faint-hearted. It's Grace Clinton getting some instruction from Willie Kirk here. That chance in the first half, she's showed some good movement. Looks like we're on to the second pad for Scott Booth on the sidelines here. Well, we could see the blood immediately. I think it's just to the right-hand side of her face or her forehead, maybe. There will be concern about moving the Birmingham skipper. Louise Quinn needs plenty of treatment. It was not a stray elbow, it's just a clash of heads. But immediately she knew, and she could feel the blood unfortunately trickle. There will have to be a change, I'm almost certain of that, maybe even to Everton personnel as well. Gabby George was sitting up, didn't draw blood, but she certainly felt the full force of the clash of heads. Rebecca Holloway getting some instructions as well there from Scott Booth on the sidelines. George is okay to continue now then. Running repairs, helped out by her teammates. Well, the bandage is on. Is she going to continue? That's the question. Well, a little bit shy of substitutes. And Ryan-Doyle is a striker. Emily Whelan also a more forward player. Libby Smith, potentially the player that might come on. Lucy Whip is the other outfield player. Manny Hurahan, vastly experienced keeper, on the bench as well. Well, Quinn, who is a real tough competitor and performer, he's up on her feet, will want to stay on. Now, the medical staff have surely got to make this decision just because she wants to stay on. I presume she does, because she's a real warrior. It doesn't mean to say that she should do. I haven't seen any action for 4 minutes here. There is concern from the crowd for the opposition player here, and plenty of respect and a nice round of applause when she got back up on her feet. I've got to watch those scissors, crikey. I think just trying to make sure that she can see here, but well, it looks like she's got, I mean, she wasn't knocked out. It's a cut rather than a concussion, but obviously there is concern there. She wants to continue. She's going to have a bit of a bump on the right side of her forehead. Thomas Reeves, the official, says, look, you've got to come off before you can come back on. And a deep breath and she'll return to the fray. Well, I hope she's okay. Well, eventually she raises a smile. I just wonder, I mean, look, sometimes I think that's got to be taken out of players' hands, and if it's something like this, it's up to the coaching staff, the medical staff, to say, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to be substituted. They've had the conversation. We're not privy to that, so we don't know what was said. I'm pretty sure she wasn't knocked out. If it is just a cut and they've sorted that out, they've got the bandage on, then obviously she can continue, and that's going to be the situation. She is back on and racing back to the Birmingham defence to marshal it once more. Well, we didn't have any action for about 5 minutes there, so expect quite a bit of added on time at the end of this game. We restarted one apiece, and these two engage once more. Saudi with the ball down the line for Ewens. Here's the other player that was involved in that collision. Gabby George, who seemingly is okay, certainly didn't come off as worse as Louise Quinn. George is 24 now, all a career at Everton. Emslie. Good pace here against Holloway. Just get the cross in. Oh, it flicks up off a stray boot there. That was Gemma Lawley. See that Quinn was racing back in defensive position as well. Lawley's intervention could have flown anywhere, but it didn't. Holloway. She's had a good game on the left-hand side, been impressed with her. That's not the worst ball as well. Ewens will take it down. That's good control. She's just offside. Well, that's been a feature, unfortunately. But what you tend to see in situations like that, she will break through. There will be one time that she will be onside, and that's when she's got to take her chance, because that must have been tight twice in this second half. I think once in the first she was just caught offside, just the wrong side of the Everton rear guard. This is Dali, away from one challenge and still going forward. She wants it on her right side. She didn't want to take it on left-footed. Cleared away. Tony Duggan for Everton. Turner to try and get this one in low and hard. It spins away for a throw and no more. It's a good run. Picked it up well. She doesn't trust the left peg. She wanted it on her right. It's a really good stop in the end. Terrific. Really well timed from Scott. Everton coming forward again and up and under. Emslie here with a shot. Might get another go. Missed time first time around. Second was better. Bennison covers well. Maier likewise. Birmingham have won it back. Difficult one, this. Good block from Holloway in the end. Well, just past the hour here, and Birmingham making alterations. Scott, for me, he's had a really good game. I don't know if she's picked up a knock in the second half, but she's the first to come off. We're going to see Libby Smith come on. And maybe surprisingly, Sarri's the other to come off here, with Whelan coming on. So those are the two changes. Beatrice Sari. Bright in the first half, not so much in the second. Scott thinks had a really good game, but she's off as well. So Whelan and Smith, the two players to come on. Turner for Christiansen. Christiansen again. This is Dali. Now it's with Bjorn. Maier. Bjorn once more got a Birmingham player down. I think it's Ewens that's down at the moment. Well, the referee's going to halt play here. It's just a foot injury, I think. Just caught as the ball had gone. Oh, it's one that obviously hurts. Confirmation of the changes as we look at this incident again. Bjorn. Oh dear, and it's not the challenge. It's just a roll of the ankle. That looked nasty. Studs just seemed to get caught in the turf, and the ankle just got rolled over. Oh, he's just made two changes here. Well, how is your luck? Concerned glances from the physio here, and maybe another alteration will have to be made. It's another stoppage. And she's led the line really well. She's run the channels back to goal. And up against the quality of Natalie Bjorn in particular, it has not been easy. But she's contributed, but that looked a horror, didn't it? The ankle just rolled over. Sometimes they can just ping back in. Sometimes you're okay to continue. If there's any sort of ligament damage, that's not the case. Just checking the playbook here. Coach is making sure that the substitutes know exactly what's required. Now then, can she walk on it? Problem is you've got to test it straight away. And the way that she plays, wholehearted, I'm not quite sure she's going to be able to continue. Just blow the cheeks there and get a bit of air in. But gingerly moving to the sidelines, and maybe another alteration will have to be made here for Birmingham. It is Sarah Ewens that's coming off. Well, Eleanor Ryan-Doyle did start in the defeat at the hands of Brighton, was a sub in the previous game against Tottenham. Irish junior international, has been in senior squads but not played for the senior side. Played in the Champions League qualifiers for previous club, Piedmont United, the South Dublin team. Scored a couple of goals against Spartak Subotica in August before moving to Birmingham. See what she can do. So plenty of changes for Birmingham. Some tactical, some forced. What sort of change will we see in terms of their play on the pitch? Whelan looking to try and race through on this one, just 19, signed from Shelburne in the summer. Another Irish junior international, made a debut for the senior side recently and played in that Australia win just earlier this month, a 3-2 success. It's a real shame because the substitutes here have just spoiled the flow of the game, certainly from a neutral point of view, and for the two sets of supporters here. There's one or two Birmingham fans that have made their way to the northwest for this one, obviously vast majority Everton supporters at Walton Hall Park. But the sickening clash of heads between George and Quinn just halted the flow, and then we've seen substitutions and another injury since then. Two teams haven't really engaged as they were since then. Maybe now. Bennison breaks forward, gives the ball away. Cleared away by Lawley initially. Birmingham look to try and counter. Quinn to go long. Up and under. George in the thick of things again with a really important header. This is Maier. Flicked by Emslie. Dali runs into trouble. Lawley does well and goes to ground. Just a challenge from Dali. She doesn't agree with Thomas Reeves, the official, but it will be a free kick here to Birmingham. Back towards Ramsey. Everton, who will travel to Reading for their next fixture before trip to Arsenal. Two tough games coming up, and then there's WSL Cup action against City away and Leicester away. So 4-game road trip for Everton on its way. That's not going to be easy. Birmingham have got that cup clash, of course, against Chelsea upcoming. And then a home game against Manchester United next in the league. That's going to be hard before they take on West Ham away. And their WSL Cup campaign kicks off away, rather at home against Brighton. Leonie Maier is going to come off here. First game of the season. Didn't play the first two. Summer signing from Arsenal to come off. And Grace Clinton also coming off as well here, so a double change. Interesting to see Valerie Gauvin come on. Did feature in the first 2 games of the season. Had 1 or 2 injury issues last term. Scored 5 goals though last season, including 2 against Spurs in a 3-2 away success. Everton, who scored 7 goals from substitutes last season, more than any other side. Emslie, decent looking ball in here. Big chance! Oh boy, oh boy. Well, Bennison looks at the turf. Did it take a deflection on its way through? I think it must have done. Really good running here. They opened up Birmingham, and how. Let's look at this. Emslie with the ball in. It took a slight deflection, and as Bennison came in, it was Quinn in the way, inevitably. Low corner Flick towards the penalty spot, cleared away. Confirmation that Clinton came on for Maier or rather Clinton and Maier both went off a few minutes ago before Sevecke and Gauvin came on. Ricky Sevecke, who is another that featured in the first 2 games of the season, Danish international. Girl towards the back post. Gauvin was lurking. This is George. Good running on the left-hand side here. It's just going to spin away for a corner. And he'll turn happy to leave that one. So pressure on Birmingham once again here. Everton just beginning once again to dominate, getting the ball in advanced areas and looking to test the likes of Emily Ramsey and of course the skipper, Louise Quinn. Drilled in once more. Oh, George was waiting there and it just flicks away. Quinn wants her players to push out. You can see the skipper inside the penalty area urging her players just to push the Everton personnel further back. Don't want to invite trouble. Such a really good organiser. Gauvin waits. Comes on the bench for recent French World Cup qualifiers. Here she is, looking to try and turn. George comes across. Ryan-Doyle was chasing that one down. She's got some pace as well. Just under 20 minutes remaining in the 90, but one suspects 5, 6, maybe even 7 minutes have added on time at the end of this fixture. This is Bjorn. It's turning into a little bit of a battle, isn't it, all of a sudden? The free-flowing football of the first half has made way to a second period that's been much more attritional. One back, Emslie. Christiansen rolls it back. Birmingham win it back. And Ryan-Doyle is on the move again on the left-hand side. So is Emily Whelan. Whelan won't get to it. Back towards Maciver. Hasn't been as busy. Christiansen has dropped a little deeper since those changes. This is Dali. Christiansen has it once again. Birmingham well disciplined at the moment. Almost 4-5-1 out of possession. Bennison will turn. Dali once again. Kenza Dali. Bennison has made the move to the right-hand side. Bennison. Once again, looks to try and take a strike on. Terrific goal. Oh, she made space brilliantly. Oh, that's a wonderful strike in Everton, are back in front. And she came on at half-time to much fanfare. We know what she can do. Just a teenager with a big, big future. A real star signing from an Everton point of view. And the Merseysiders are getting the rewards now of this young girl's ability. Real accurate strike into the corner. Almost placed it there. Plenty of lift on that, just bending away from the keeper, if anything. Neatly done, cleverly done, a brilliant strike. And Bennison gives Everton the lead. Now, can they keep hold of it this time around? What will Birmingham come back at Everton with? Second time that Everton have been in front. Birmingham responded really well in the first half. Quinn to go long. Over the head of Ryan-Doyle. Bennison looks to win it back. It's a real scrap out there at the moment, that's for certain. This is Christiansen all the way back to Maciver. Now, when Everton scored the first goal of the game, they had a semblance of control for 5 or 6 minutes, and you thought that they were going to score 2 or 3 more, but it didn't quite work out that way. Birmingham came straight back at them, but they're in front once again. Only won 1 of the last 6 at home in the WSL, 4 of the last 13. Birmingham haven't won any of their last 8 away from home. 6 defeats and 2 draws in that sequence, and their last win coming against Villa back in November of last year. It was the last of 5 wins on the spin in all competitions. Kenza Dali, Gauvin is calling for it. Emslie wants it as well. Back towards Dali. Oh, she just turns to a teammate and says, there was no chance I was going to get that. Well, he won't mind the passion, but he won't want his players to argue amongst themselves. This is the goal again. It's the quick feet initially. And they're drawn towards the ball, the Birmingham players. Oh, that's inch perfect. And Ramsey's thrown herself across to the right-hand side, but she can't keep it out. Needs to be closed down. Can't fault the keeper. Emslie. Oh, now then, was there a bit of an elbow in the face here? The referee saw that well, looking right at the incident, only a few yards away. It's Lucy Quinn that's down. Awkward rather than malicious, I think, here, but she certainly feels like she got caught in the face. So from Spurs in the summer, just the 1 goal against West Ham last season. Irish international in the Birmingham ranks. Captain played just by Emslie, was it? No. Coaching them throughout this game, Willie Kirk, he's been vocal, trying to get his instructions across and offer some encouragement over the course of this fixture. You just sense it's not over just yet. 13 minutes plus added on time remaining. There will be a significant amount of minutes, as we know. Down the line towards Gauvin. Just slips through the fingers, unfortunately. That's Holloway. And we'll get another go. But not from there, a few yards back. Holloway again. Dali's header. Gauvin to control. Runs into trouble. It's a free kick. Just failing to build any real momentum here, Birmingham, at the moment. Only wins in 2021 have come in the FA Cup against Coventry and then Southampton. Desperate for some respite in the lead, but it doesn't look like they're going to get it today. Oh, Dali, that's clever play. Gauvin looking for Emslie over on this right-hand side. Curls away from Emslie. Can she keep it in play just? There, Emslie does well. Going to get another chance for the cross, maybe. Sevecke. Back towards Emslie. Controls. Looking here for Bennison inside the penalty area corner. Look, all the difference. Tony Duggan in the second half hasn't been as effective. She made some really good runs over the course of the first 45 minutes. She's faded a little, and she is to be replaced here as Everton make the switch. And Nicolene Sorensen is the player that is coming on. A bit of a defensive move in a way. Sorensen's versatile. Lucy Whippy's coming on for Jade Pennick, incidentally, as well. That's another change for Birmingham. Corner taken then for Everton, and the header flashes over, well wide of the target from Bjorn. Confirmation of the Everton change. Duggan off for Sorensen. Birmingham's goal scorer going off as well. And it's Lucy Whip that's on. Third season now at Birmingham. Former England junior international. Started life at Everton, in fact, before heading to the United States. Was at university in New York at St. John's University. Played college football there. Part of the Everton squad, had a really good cup run in 2014, playing against her former club now. This is Quinn. Need to try and build some momentum and conjure something from somewhere, from someone, Birmingham, with time beginning to run out. This is Bjorn, who's had a good game at the back. Now it's with Maciver. He's not had too much to do in this second half. It's not as if shots have been raining down on her over the course of the second period. Hasn't had to make a save in the second half. Birmingham City have not mustered a shot on target in the second half. And only one effort, full stop, and that was blocked. Stark contrast to what we saw in the first half. And given the pace of play for much of this fixture, it's no real surprise. It's just dropped a little, but what you will see is plenty of gaps appearing at both ends here. Everton will have to try and keep their shape. And a really good challenge from George once again. She's had a really good game. That George-Bjorn partnership at the back, I think it's only going to get better. Bjorn signed from Rosengard in the summer, once the understanding is there. This is Dali, who's been a real powerhouse moving through the gears in midfield. A lot to like about this Everton side, and they are inching closer towards a first win of the season. There will be huge relief for Willie Kirk and his coaching staff and everyone to do with Everton women. Is that the case? Birmingham will have to find their first win elsewhere. He's not counting his chickens just that. He knows that there can be late goals in the Women's Super League. We've seen it very, very often. There was a late goal in the last meeting between the two, although it didn't really matter. Timon McGill scoring the 88th minute to rubber stamp the win. A 4-0 success for Everton. Then it will be back-to-back successes over Birmingham, and it will be a first ever WSL win at home over the Midlands club. That's if they can get over the line. Oh, it's another awkward one, and it's another clash of heads, I think, here. Sevecke's gone down. Yeah, that didn't look too good. Just wait for a second, make sure the player's okay. On as a substitute. Danish international, played in the recent win over Azerbaijan in the World Cup qualifiers earlier this month. She actually scored against Malta in the 7-0 success prior to that game. Second season now at Everton. Featured in nearly every single game last term. Had 19 starts, signed from Fleury, one season in French football. Title and cup winner with Brøndby in Denmark. Everton looking to manage this game from here on in. It's not going to be easy. Birmingham will throw a little caution to the wind, you would have thought, As the seconds tick away, they will try and get some more players in advanced areas. That's what Scott Booth is demanding, surely. You sometimes see them a little light through the centre.
Make it a good ball, make it a good ball. Go on, go on.
Going back for Ramsey. Just lifts it over to that right-hand side. Forward by Smith. Might get another go. Touch a little heavy, but she's done well to battle back and keep possession. This is Whip. Back for Quinn. Only makes herself available. Just a spell of possession inside their own half, but it'll give them a little confidence here as we get towards the business end of this game now. Well, the body check does not result in a Birmingham free kick. It was Holloway that went down. Bjorn. Strong challenge coming in, and the referee halting play there. Robertson, the perpetrator, just caught the ankle there. It has been a battle. No quarter asked any given here by these two sets of players. Just see there, nothing malicious, but it was certainly a free kick, certainly a foul. George forward, layoff from Gauvin. This is Bennison, the match winner as it stands at the moment, and the difference maker shuffles it through to the left-hand side. Everton retain possession. This is Gabby George, decides to go all the way back to Maciver. Now it's with Bjorn. Well, Birmingham struggling to build, struggling to have spells on the ball in dangerous areas, and suddenly Christiansen can come forward for Everton. Still full of running. Likewise Turner on that left-hand side. She has put in a shift, the skipper. Christiansen again. Gauvin, back to goal. Loses out. There's the French striker. Birmingham have it again. Just a throw. Libby Smith to take the throw in. Flicked on down the line. Birmingham look to make ground, and they win another free kick here. Turner just a little casual with a shove. Well, this could be an opportunity for the likes of Quinn and Lawley maybe to make their presence felt inside the Everton penalty area, or just outside of it. As you can see, Everton cleverly pushing up here. Well, I suspect that the ball's going to drop just beyond where pretty much every single outfield player is lining up at the moment. That's if Quinn can deliver. Can't play it too close to the keeper. We've seen Maciver come and claim. Let's see what she can conjure from the free kick here. Quinn to take. Spun towards the edge of the penalty area. Brought down on this near side, but no way through, unfortunately, for Birmingham. It should be cleared away. Sevecke forward. Ricochets all around, and suddenly Everton are on the move, and it's 3-on-2. If they can retain possession, which they can't, that's really good awareness from Jamie Finn. Defensive duty from Sevecke. Holloway to take the throw. Flicked on by Finn once again. Just unable to wriggle inside the penalty area. This is Louise Quinn to chip it forward. Well, just got too much on that. Just haven't seen enough of Birmingham in the Everton half. Certainly not since conceding the second goal. She's frustrated with a ball forward, you can tell. 30 seconds to the 90 remaining. We'll see how many minutes of added on time what we'll get, but I'd be surprised if it's less than 5, 6, maybe even 7. So Everton know that they have still got to keep their shape and discipline here. Clip forward by Bjorn, will maybe score again. This is Bennison breaking forward on the right-hand side. Thought about the cross, then just slows things down. Where is a way forwards here for Everton? Sevecke will turn it back. Bennison has it again. They're queuing up far post. Short ball here. Decent looking ball in. Ramsey will come and parry away. Still the danger isn't over just yet. This is Bjorn. Now it's with George. Still looking for that third that would rubber stamp the win, surely. Nine minutes of added on time, we're hearing. Time enough for Birmingham to potentially grab a late leveller. Do not rule it out, even though Everton have really dominated this second half. Possession stats in the second period more than the first, and overall 66 to 34, 67 in this second half, nearly 68. They've had most of the ball, but just the one goal to show for it, and they could be caught out here now. Counter is on. This is Lucy Quinn breaking forward and still looking to get inside the penalty area. Well, she's just run out of steam there, I think. She has put in so much effort and industry. She's run down every single channel. Everton player down at the moment. The brand new stand, say brand new stand at Anfield, it's newish. I don't think there'll be too many heading there today because Liverpool are playing away at Brentford, of course, other side of Stanley Park, Goodison, where many of these supporters, I suspect, will be heading. Hopeful to see the Everton senior side, men's side win. Well, to join the Atta football community and access more women's football content, matches and highlights, don't forget to visit attafootball.com. It's the incident involving Holloway that just caused the injury here. There is the match winner, potentially the match winner. This is the first goal. Maier's deflected effort. Got so unlucky there, she knew nothing about it, and Ramsey likewise. Pennick's strike was brilliant. Birmingham coming back, but then a measured and considered effort, really. It's just all about the placement, isn't it? Don't have to really put the laces through it if you're that accurate. And you've got that presence of mind, you've just got that composure, no panic at all. Find some space, play the 1-2, and then show real skill and technique to just flight it into the corner. You could see that Emily Ramsey flew across to the right-hand side, but just couldn't keep it out. Well, we're into the 9 minutes of added on time, but one suspects that we might get a few more here because of this injury. Claire Emslie has had another really good game over on the right-hand side. She's been a constant threat. Scottish international. She's got a lot of experience. She'll be key for Everton this season. Scored against Birmingham last campaign. Only started 10 games. I fancy she might start more. She scored against the Pharaohs in a recent World Cup qualifier. Well, real disappointment for Nicolene Sorensen, having only just come on with that injury. And we are going to see Poppy Pattinson here for however long we've got left, and that number is increasingly difficult to try and guess. Birmingham have got a throw, meanwhile. Like a serious foot injury, didn't it, to Sorensen?
Yes, now walk it, walk it.
And technically 4 minutes remaining, but I think we've probably got closer to 8. But we'll see what match officials give us from here on in. Kept in play just. Emslie sees it go out for an Everton throw. Robertson busy as usual. This is Bjorn. Pace has dropped markedly last 10 minutes, really, simply since the added on time started. And Birmingham, somehow, they've just got to try some of the strength and the energy and the skill to try and get beyond this Everton backline for one last attempt if they can, but really it's Everton doing most of the attacking, certainly in this second half. This is Gauvin, who's had some neat touches since she's come on. Does manage to get the cross in, does she? That's going to spin behind for a corner. George forward. Quinn takes her position. Christiansen gets ready to take the corner. Low trajectory, good trajectory, and that's a terrific goal. Guided into the corner. Inch perfect from that right-hand side. Arrow-like into the penalty area. And the header flew beyond Ramsey. No chance whatsoever here. Sevecke just turning, moving away from a marker. Watches the flight of this ball so well. Well, that will rubber stamp the win, certainly. Well, in lots of ways, the second half performances deserve that. Everton lead by 3-1. And the first goal of her Everton career in the Women's Super League for Sevecke. Christiansen weighs in with the assist. Top assist maker last season with 6. She's got a first of the campaign here. Maybe Smith battles. Pattinson wins it back, and that's gone out for a goal kick. Well, the Birmingham players aren't happy. I believe it should have gone the other way, but really I think the chance has gone here for Birmingham. And having conceded 1 at Spurs, 5 against Brighton, it's going to be 3 against Everton. And it's back to the drawing board here for Scott Booth. They'll have to lift themselves for the next game, which is the cup fixture, of course, against Chelsea. Quarter-final of the FA Cup in midweek at home. Expecting a big crowd for that one with reduced price tickets before they take on Manchester United in the WSL on the 3rd of next month. Well, we've had the 9 minutes of added on time, but we might get another 3. It's anyone's guess, really. Always a minimum of 9, and we had a significant injury, obviously, to Sorensen in the added on time.
Narrow a little bit, Benny. Benny, narrow a little bit. Good, Poppy. Play in the centre back, Pops.
Long throw should be cleared away. Just a throw-in for Everton here. They've managed the game really well in this second half. They've had all of the ball. They've kept creating chances and kept playing with ambition, even when they went 2-1 up. Still a long time to go in the game when they managed to grab a second. That looked like handball against Gauvin. Well, hard fought, but I don't think the scoreline flatters Everton here. Significant minutes added on, mainly because of the injury to Louise Quinn, who had to have the bandage on because of a head wound after clashing with Gabby George in the second half from a corner. George was okay to continue, Quinn eventually okay as well. Warrior-like. She played on. And also an injury that saw Sorensen limp out in added on time has added to the extra minutes here. Well, no one's heading for the exits. The crowd have certainly enjoyed it. Always better when your team wins, but they expect some decent attendances at Everton. Willie Kirk has said that the fans were great against Manchester City at Goodison Park, even though they were beaten here at Walton Hall Park. It's a different environment, obviously. But they've been treated to some really good play, and although the pace has dropped a little bit in this second half, it's been a really good contest. And he can start to think about climbing the table now. Always looked a little bit odd to see Everton at the bottom of the standings after those heavy defeats. Pushing to the 102nd minute of this fixture. I think we might get one more. Quinn, who will never stop battling, that is for certain. Looking for the crossfield ball here to the left-hand side, trying to get someone in over the top. It doesn't work out.
Go on, Kenza, you make that. Go on.
Kenza Dali, encouraged from the sidelines here. Oh, that's a really good challenge. This is Holloway. Bounces through here for Whelan. She's got Ryan-Doyle racing through as well. That's Jamie Finn rather, that loses out. Back to Holloway once again. Called inside the penalty area, but good defensive work from Danielle Turner. Just has to watch the run of Lucy Quinn here.
Drop in, Nat. Drop in.
There is full time. 12 minutes of added on time in the end because of various injuries, unfortunately. But it is Willie Kirk's Everton that have come good at last. Their season up and running. A first win of the campaign. Hard fought over a Birmingham side that really battled well. Maier got the first before Pennock equalised. Bennison with a wonderful strike made it 2 before Sevecke in added on time rubber stamped the success. Birmingham 0 from 3 now. Everton, though, with a crucial and first win of the season. Bennison, the crucial strike really to get the second from off the bench. Pennock with a terrific hit for Birmingham, but she's on the losing side again. Bennison's effort made all the difference, and she had a really good second half after coming on as a substitute. Sevecke managed to get the third deep into added on time. A glancing header from a Christiansen corner that just made the final few minutes a little easier for Everton, who certainly deserved the success overall. Willie Kirk will know that, but he'll know that there's hard work still to do for Birmingham. Well, and he's played 3, lost 3, unfortunately, and Rebecca Holloway knows that they will have to improve their game if they are not to get involved in a relegation scrap. Scott Booth, new to the league, having come down from Scotland, and he's finding it very, very tough south of the border. It's a real reality check about how life is in the Women's Super League. Full time here, Everton 3, Birmingham City 1. Tail of the tape after 90 minutes, make that 102 minutes of action. Everton 3, Birmingham 1. 14 shots from Everton, 4 on target, 6 for Birmingham. As you can see, Everton registered 10 corners. They were the dominant side in the second half. They had about 2/3 of the possession as well, and they thoroughly deserved their 3-1 win over Birmingham. We can check out the full-time highlights for you. Well, Everton and Birmingham came into this fixture hoping for a first win of the campaign. Everton were expected to get the 3 points. They started the brighter of the two, and they opened the scoring after a couple of blocked efforts from Chris Clinton. Eventually fell to Leonie Maier on her Everton debut. It took a deflection though. Scott was in the way. Wrong footing Emily Ramsey here. You'll see it from the reverse angle. Good reaction nonetheless from the fullback here. It comes back out towards her. She guides it towards goal, but that's a wicked deflection. Nothing really that Ramsey can do. And Scott obviously expected to try and get something on it, try and get in the way. She's only just back up from the block, and it just glances off her and into the net. That was 1-0. Everton in the ascendancy at this stage, and the former Arsenal defender had another opportunity a few moments later. Fullback to fullback as the cross came in from Danielle Turner, but Maier's effort went into the side netting. It was a difficult height for her, came to her pretty awkwardly here, just behind the defender. Holloway probably expected to get something on that, but she didn't. That was a chance for Maier. And then Birmingham came back into the game, and Jade Pennock with a wonderful strike here to make it 1-1. Guilty of one thing Everton plays, and that is just backing away from her. She controls, she takes a touch, and again, but that is a stunning finish. Pennock's effort made it 1-1, and Birmingham were back in the fixture. First goal for a new club, having switched from Sheffield United in the summer. Really good strike. Terrific approach play as well. The first touch is excellent, the second also. The third just gets it into a good area to strike. Nothing that Maciver could do to keep that one out as Birmingham levelled up proceedings. But Everton in the second half were much the better side. They had much more the ball. They created all the key opportunities, and they maybe should have scored here. Bennison was coming in just past the penalty spot. It was a really good block in the end, as it just ricochets behind. The approach play was good. Both left and right flanks, Everton were excellent over the course of this fixture. Emslie with the cross, Bennison's effort blocked. But on this occasion, after some fast feet, she received it and then just caressed it into the corner. All about placement and precision. Doesn't need the power if you can strike them as sweetly as that. Culling away from the keeper, if anything, just a little bit. Can't say that Ramsey was at fault here. Maybe should have been closed down a little sooner. Angle was just perfect away from the keeper, on as a second half substitute at half time. And that made it 2-1. And the goal from Sevecke, glancing header from Christiansen's corner, on as a substitute. And this in the 7th minute of added on time, just to rubber stamp the success. Well, the moments of the match is brought to you by Ative Football. For more premium European women's football content, visit ativefootball.com. Well, there was some really good goals in this game, 2 in particular, but the standout for Everton, the winning side, came from the substitute. And Bennison, running effort beyond Emily Ramsey, made the goal with a quick feet, and the neat control and the finish was something else. So Everton kicking off the WSL weekend with success over Birmingham, a 3-1 win in the end. Tomorrow, some really big and massive fixtures in the league. It's Manchester United versus Chelsea. It's Brighton that take on Villa, Tottenham against Reading, West Ham against Liverpool, and pick of the games over this weekend, Arsenal facing Manchester City. Updated table for you after Everton's success. They go from 12th to 8th. They are 3 points off top spot. Obviously, the teams above them with games in hand. Birmingham go to the bottom of the table. Their goal difference -8 now. Brighton, surprisingly, leading the way, +7 goal difference. 4 teams with maximum points so far. Brighton, Arsenal, Manchester United and Tottenham. Chelsea and Manchester City will be challenging, but they've already been beaten this season. It's shaping up to be a fascinating Women's Super League. Well, both of these two sides entered this fixture off the back of 2 straight wins, but it's Everton that kickstart their campaign with a 3-1 success over Birmingham. From all of us, it's goodbye.